You are welcome to today's class for
Thank you.
IT research methods. Today we'll continue with our lesson. Last week we looked at topic selection. Does anybody have a question or comment from last week that he or she wants addressed? The floor is open for some 5 minutes. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's nothing. Okay. So last week we looked at introduction to research, and then we also looked at topic selection. How to identify a topic. We said that research is a systematic procedure for explaining or predicting, describing, or building an artifact to solve a real-world problem. And we started with topic selection. So topic selection is the first step of the systematic process in conducting research. Today, we are going to look at the second step, which is literature review. Let's look at the rest of the steps that we'll be going through. After reviewing literature, we are going to formulate research questions. Or hypothesis. Then we are going to design the study. Then we'll collect evidence or data. We'll analyze the data. We'll draw conclusions. And then we are done. And that leads us back to topic selection again. This right here is what we call the research cycle. So we'll be going through this research cycle full end. We will make some variations around this place when it comes to design science and natural science. This is where we will split. So we'll split between natural science and design science. Okay, so today we are looking at literature review. Literature review. When we say literature review, we are talking about reviewing literature. What is literature? Does anybody have an idea what literature is? Any idea? What is literature? One, two.
Written books.
Written books. Any other?
Written or spoken works that express an idea.
Spoken works. Okay. Please, I need everybody to rename himself or herself with their full name. I'm going to generate an attendance list from here. Rename yourself with your full name and student ID. Full name and student ID. Full name dash student ID. Full name and student ID. Okay, so any other thing that you think is literature, or what do you think literature is? Maybe in the context of research. So in the context of research, when you say literature, books are parts, yes. Written or spoken works is not too clear to me. But we also have journal articles. That is a form of written work. We have scholarly books. Conference papers. We have other ones like magazines, newspapers, newspaper articles, and so on, even online web contents. But for our purpose, we are interested more in these ones. These are mostly academic and peer reviewed. If we say something is peer reviewed, it means that when the authors wrote this manuscript, they were given out to experts and people who understand what they are writing to give feedback on what the person has written. And the person would go and revise the work, even make some corrections or make some improvements as suggested by the reviewer. And the final work is accepted by the whole community, that this is what we will accept as research in our community. So we prefer to use journal articles, scholarly books, or scholarly book chapters, and then conference papers. Then when it comes to the review part, the essence, literature review is meant to find out how we want to know about previous research, and then we'll be able to understand what previous studies have done. We'll be able to know what previous studies have done and to find out the limitations of what they have done so that we can we can continue doing research from what they have left off. So if you look at the research cycle, after conducting a literature review, the next thing we are doing is to formulate research questions or hypotheses. So over here at the literature review, the purpose is to identify previous studies and then to identify limitations in existing works. So for all these studies that we are looking at, we want to find out what have previous studies conducted, and that's where the review comes in. What are the themes in previous studies about your topic? And then what are the limitations or gaps that future researchers can also look at, including you? So this is the purpose of doing a literature review. There are other reasons or purpose that you can do. You can do literature review to know the main people in your field, the main scholars in your field. You also want to do a literature review to understand or to show to your audience that you understand the field. You have done extensive reading in the area. But these are the two main reasons why we conduct literature review. And we conduct literature review as part of research. You cannot skip it. You cannot skip conducting a literature review. It's a very important part of your review, of your research projects. If you are writing your project work in the final year, the literature review will be your, let's say, it will be one of your chapters, typically chapter 2. And if it's a research paper that you are writing, it will normally be your second section or the second section of your research paper. It is expected. So literature review is very important to understand, and this forms the core or the main reason why you are conducting your study. Remember from the research cycle that it is the literature review that generates the question that you want to answer. That question is unique to you. So we want to find out how to conduct a literature review. How do we conduct a literature review? There's this article titled Using Grounded Theory as a Method for Rigorously Reviewing Literature. It's a paper in a very top journal, European Journal of Information Systems. So this is an example of a paper, of a research paper, a journal article. This is how it looks like. It's in multiple pages, right? This is one page. So you can see the author's names. You can see the author's names here. Jules F. Wolfswinkel, Elfie Muller, Celeste Woodrum. These are the authors. And this is the title of the paper. And this is the publication name or the journal name. This is published in the European Journal of Information Systems. European Journal of Information Systems. This is the volume number. Sometimes some journals have issue numbers. If it has an issue number, it would have been written there. You will see like 22 issue number, let's say 4. And then this This is the page numbers, 45 to 55 is the page range. Typically, you would have seen this in a book form, like a magazine. But now these journal articles are increasingly becoming or have become digital. So you see them as PDF. You see them in PDF form. So, for instance, all these are journal articles. So if let me open one. Now, journal articles are in PDF form like this. This is another article that I am showing from the same journal. Okay. So this is the kind of literature that we are going to review. We are going to read to find out what are the main issues that have been studied, and then we are going to review them. So there's a method for conducting a review. And from this paper, the method includes a 5-step process. So here is the step. The first step is here is to define. Under defining, you are first of all defining the criteria for inclusion and exclusion. What are the articles or what literature type are you going to include in your literature review? We have seen that we have different types of literature. Which one will you include in your review? You have to tell us. Then you determine what area of research we are going to conduct your literature review. And then we are going to also mention where you are going to obtain the literature that you are going to review. Where are you going to obtain your literature you are going to review? And how are you going to obtain them? What will you search for in order to obtain the literature you are going to review? Step 2 is search. This is where you perform the search. You do the actual search. When you do the actual search, you obtain the literature, you download them onto your computer, and then you move to the next step. But in this step, I normally do not make undergrads do it. I make you skip. But here, the assumption is that when you do the search, there may be some duplicates of the articles that you have downloaded. There may be some articles that you have not included. So you are going to remove the duplicates and include articles that are necessary, which you may not have downloaded or included. So you come and add those ones over here. Under the third step, select. The fourth step is to analyze the articles by coding, open coding, Excel coding, selective coding. We'll talk more about it, how to do when we get there. And the fifth step is to present it. You write the article proper. You write the review for us to see that this is the review that you have conducted. So let me show you a sample review. There are so many reviews. There are so many reviews out there. People have conducted literature reviews, which you can learn from. So this, for instance, is my own literature review about mobile mobile business research. And this is how it looks like. You have an introduction, you give an overview of the area you are reviewing. Then you explain the methodology you are using for the review, as I have described. How are you conducting the review? You tell us. And then you go ahead to present the findings of the review. Like this. Then your reference lists will end. Very, very easy. I asked you to rename yourself. I told you to rename yourself. What is Google Pixel 4 XL? If you don't rename yourself, I won't call you. So rename yourself. Write your name and your student ID. And then raise your hand again. So let's look at how to do the review. Based on these steps in the article, I have developed some worksheets which you can use to implement these 5 steps. Okay, so this is the first step. This is the first worksheet. The first worksheet is for step 1, define. So over here, you are asking yourself, you are breaking down the review into steps. The first step is to define. You are defining your research area in order to, Nana, sorry.
Yes,
Yes,
please,
sir.
Doc. Okay, Doc. Hello. Doc, please, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So, Doc, about the literature review, I want to ask, does it involves like a way of finding making a comprehensive analysis based on existing, let's say, articles or publications, and then also which are related to your specific topic or your specific project you want to write about?
You just want to put what I'm saying in other ways, right?
No. I'm trying to understand it. Say, I just want to understand it in a way that does it really like is it about you finding what do you call you being able to, make a certain analysis from people's publication, which is related to your project you've selected. Assuming as a final year student, I'm to make let's say I'm to develop an app, let's say an accounting app, and then I go online look for additional like some sources or let's say some people's projects. So looking at their what do you call how they've structured their project, I can copy or I can give reference to some of the things in there and tip that sources into my project.
In literature review, you are looking for what people have done. You are going to catalog the existing research that people have done. You critique it to find limitations in what they have done so that you can address those limitations in your work.
Oh, okay. Look, I think I lost most of the thing. I came in late, so. All right, thank you, Dolph.
All right. Any other question? So the first step is to define certain aspects of the literature we are going to conduct. So in defining the methodology, said that you should define your criteria for exposure. You should identify the fields of research, determine appropriate sources, and decide on the specific set terms. That's what you do under the first step called define. So that's what I have used to develop this worksheet. So the first question you ask yourself is, what is the scope of your review? Why are you doing the review? And I have given you an example over here from another article from the same authors, those who developed these steps to do the review. So the example from there is, this is what they asked. This is the question that they asked. What are the major themes in e-recruitment research in terms of the methods, the methods used, their achievements, their perspectives, and then the research gaps that they covered? And the second question is, which future research directions can we distill from the themes? As I said, in literature review, you are looking for the major themes. What are the major themes in the research area that you want to study? And what are the future research directions that exist in the area you want to study? So my topic area is digital platforms and value creation. And I'm going to conduct you do a literature review on your, so here is my independent variable and this is my dependent variable. We first do a literature review on the independent variable. We want to find out what are the major themes in digital platforms research. What have previous people studied? What have they done? What are the areas that they have looked at? And that's what we are calling the major themes. Once we understand the major themes in digital platform research, we want to find out what future areas can we look at? What are the future research, possible future research topics that I can also look at in addition to other researchers? What issues can they also study? Now that we know what previous people have studied, what can we also study? So here under learners implementation, you are going to write your answer over there. So I'm studying digital platform. So my research, the scope of my review will be to find out what are the major themes from digital platform research. And then I also want to find out what are the future research areas that I can look at. So I can say which future research directions can we distill from the themes? So this is quite straightforward to follow. What are the themes in your research area, and what future research directions can we distill from the themes that you obtain? The next thing is to identify the search terms. What will you search for? These data articles or literature that we review are stored in databases. They are kept in databases. I'll show you these databases. And in this database, what are you going to search? What will you search for so that you can identify these databases? What will you search for in order to identify these databases? So that's what we are calling the search terms. So these people, they're in the example, they were studying or they were going to do a literature review on e-recruiting. So look at the words that they search for. They search for e-recruiting, e-recruitment, web-based recruitment, online recruitment, recruiting online, and e-recruiting. All these are synonyms about e-recruiting. So you should also ask yourself, what words if you use to search, can generate relevant articles about your independent variable. So I'll also search for digital platforms because my topic is digital platforms. I know that digital platforms are also referred to as multi-sided platforms. They are also referred to as two-sided markets. Okay, so these are the search terms that I will use or I will search in the database to obtain my articles. Now, the next step is to identify the inclusion criteria. The inclusion criteria here is only peer-reviewed international journals. I've told you what peer-reviewed journals are. So we are also going to include peer-reviewed journal articles. And digital platforms need to be the main focus. You can open an article and even though you have searched and it's saying that they are talking about digital platforms, it may not necessarily be true. So you want articles which are necessarily about digital platforms. Then where are you going to search for these articles? This is where the database is coming. I will give you a list of databases. So for those doing natural science, you want to look in Emerald. You look in JSTOR. You look in Taylor and Francis. Look in the AIS library. For those doing design science, you want the IEEE Explore. Then the ACM Digital Library. You want Science Direct. Science Direct is also for natural science. Okay. So these are the database, and you want to go through this database because we have used some of your school fees to subscribe to these databases. So you have to use them. The library is always lamenting that the students are not using the platform. The students are not using the platform. So you have to use them. Use them. The next step is to find out what year frame you include. We want articles, we are in 2023. So we want articles between 2013, published between the year 2013 and the year 2024. Okay. So this is the first step. Frederick.
Sir, please, we can't read the writings clearly. So if you can go over the databases again.
For those doing natural science, the database include Emerald, JSTOR, Taylor and Francis, AIS library. For those doing design science, we have the IEEE Explore, ACM Digital Library, and then Science Direct. Science Direct. So this is how a typical library set of resources looks like. So we have, let's look at Emerald first. This is how Emerald looks like. Emerald. This Emerald. So when the database loads, you will see this search box over here. Normally, I like to do advanced search. Then I choose journal articles. We said that we are going to include only journal articles. So you choose journal articles. And then here, you type in the search terms that you want. Remember that we said we want to do, we're going to search for digital platforms. Then you can add a row. So you want digital platforms, or if you say and, it means that you want a publication which has the words digital platforms and whichever word they are coming to type here. But that may be very difficult. So you rather want to say or, especially because the words you are going to type are synonyms. So you want digital platforms or multi-sided platforms. Again, or two-sided markets. And we want, so we can choose the age range here. You want articles between 2013 and 2024. And we want articles to which we have access to, only the content that we have access to. There's some content that we don't have access to. Your school fees was not enough to buy those ones, so we don't have access to them. Let's search. So here we are. We have over 21,000 articles based on this search that we have done. And here are the articles. So we see articles about multi-sided platforms, articles about two-sided platforms, platform-based service innovation. So if you see an article like this, a literature review, it means that somebody has done a review. Something like you want to do. The person has done it already and has published it. So literature reviews are publishable. So this is platform-based service innovation system, a literature review. Someone has also done a literature review and published it. So we can learn from it, for instance. But we are looking for empirical articles. So if you find a literature review is good, you can download it and read it. But we don't want literature reviews. I think if you add it to our exclusion criteria. So we want articles like this. We designing the business model from one-sided to multi-sided. This is an empirical paper, for instance. You want to download that. So if you want to download an article, you right-click. I right-click on the PDF. Once the PDF is there, it means we can download it. So you right-click on it, you open in a new tab. Whilst it is loading, you can go through the next one. So this is a data access and competitive Chinese car hailing platform. You can right-click. Then whilst it's downloading, you are still scrolling, looking for the next article, next relevant article that you can download. Okay. So you open. So we are at the end of the first page. So we can go to the next. Transforming the platform with peer sharing economy. Download. So you keep on opening as many articles as are relevant. When you read it, you see whether it's relevant or not. And then they will show up like this. They will show up in tabs like this. And then you download each of them. So you click on the download button. You open a folder on your computer. Before I download, I normally like to copy the article's title. I click on the download button. I choose a place. I create a folder where I want to save it. Then I rename the file with what I have copied, so that when I save it, it will show the file name. I choose where I want to save, then I save. Is literature review mandatory for any research? Yes, I would say yes, even though you may see some articles that don't have literature review, but it's in your best interest to do it. What happens when the problem you want to write about has never been touched or no article has been published on that? Give me a topic and I'll show you articles which have been written on it. It is very rare. There's nothing like that. There's nothing new under the sun. So this afternoon, somebody said she's interested in studying national ID, the issuance of national ID cards, for instance. A topic like that is a bit narrow. So I doubt that we will have articles. Let's even do a search. National identification cards. So there we go. There are articles on exploring national identification programs among very professionals. So there's one article we have found. Okay. So you can face something like this. But I told her that national identification is an example of e-government or e-governance. And so instead of searching for literature on on national identification, search for literature on the abstract version of your topic. So electronic government. And for that one, you have plenty articles. So you have e-government. So let's do electronic government or e-government or e-governance. There we go. So you rather do your literature review on e-governance. You see, e-governance is the broader idea. So you do the review on e-governance to show that there hasn't been, so now you can argue that there hasn't been literature on national ID cards, as we saw. There was just one article over there. So if there isn't literature on your topic area, if there isn't literature on your topic area, it's advisable to go to the next level of your topic. Nana?
Doc, please, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, so say it was about the question you just read right now. I think in some situations we normally we encounter some situations like that. Recently, I think I faced such problem. It was about a certain library that I wanted to use, and then it was a certain library I wanted to use, but I wanted to use it in a sense that I wanted to use it on my own, customize it to my liking, to fit in whatever I was using it for. But I realized it wasn't working, and I went through their documentation. So it was I later found out that it was an open source looking for contributors. So in this case, if I had to do anything extra, like something different, I mean, if I want to use the library in my own way, do I still need a literature? And let's say I want to write research on that. Do I still need what you call literature review in my project, in such project?
What's the library about? What's the library for?
Also, it was about this same QR scanner. It was a QR scanner, and I wanted to use it in a special way. But I just, even though people have built most, like, there are a lot of libraries which are similar, but then I wanted it in a special way. Like I wanted it to do something special for me, and I noticed the ones I had, doesn't have all the features. So even if I want to use it, I have to find a way to, customize it or build it in a different way, like to fit or to suit what I want. So in this case, if I want to, let's say, write something about it and publish it out there, do I still need a literature review in it?
Yes,
Because I'm not.
you have answered your question. You need a literature review. You need a literature review because you are not the first person that is coming to use QR code for whatever. You say it's in a special way. Let's assume that special way you are coming to, that you want it to do, is unique. You are the first person coming out with it. How would we know that it is special? How would you know that it is new? You have to show us, and I've just done a search for literature about QR code. You have to show us evidence that the literature, the what you want to do is unique. It is something new that you are bringing about. And you have to show us the existing research about QR code to show us that there are limitations. Existing literature about QR code have not been used in the way you want to use it for, and that is what makes your work new.
Oh, okay, though. Oh, okay.
Now, if you don't show us that, we will not agree. We cannot agree with you that what you are saying in a special way is truly special. What shows that somebody hasn't done it somewhere else? We will not know. So it is your job to demonstrate to us that what you are saying is truly special.
Oh, okay, dog. I think I get it now.
Fantastic. I knew you understand. Benjamin J, good evening, good. Please, will you share the video and where can we get? Any other questions? No question. Okay. So this is the step about how to conduct or how to do a search. Your hand is up.
Oh, doc, sorry, I had to lower my hand. I'm sorry.
So once you do the search, there's John.
Yes, sir. Please, I want to ask if Emerald page is also a search engine for maybe articles only.
The database. The database for research articles.
Database, okay.
I've given you other databases. All these here are databases. I've given you JSTOR. I've given you Science Direct. GIMPA doesn't have Science Direct. We have the ones I listed there. These ones. And we have Emerald, JSTOR, Taylor and Francis, IEEE Explore, ACM Digital Library. These are the ones we have.
Okay.
Once you download your articles. So here, for instance, are articles I have downloaded. We'll move on to the next step. So we have already gone ahead already in this step. So we did what I did in Emerald was to do the search, the actual search. We are supposed to complete this form as well. So you write the name of the database, say Emerald. What did you search for? I searched for digital platform or two-sided markets. We saw about 21,000 articles from the search results, and we downloaded, let's say, 200. You go to the next database, JSTOR. You do the same. You write the search terms you download. It's advisable that your search terms will be consistent. Let your search terms be consistent across the various databases. You write the figures that you obtain. Let's say 40,000. How many articles did you download? 500. So on and so on and so on. So you have a total list of articles downloaded. Say 700. You download 700 articles. So here are some of the articles I have downloaded. When you are done, you copy these articles. Yes, Benjamin.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask if
Wanted to ask me. After downloading these articles, there's this software I spoke to you about. I asked you to go and download. It's called Mendeley Desktop. Mendeley Desktop. When you go to Mendeley.com, you can download. After downloading, you create a folder. You just come inside and you click on a folder. When you create a folder, you name the folder, and then you select the articles you have downloaded. Just press Ctrl A and click and drag into this. I already have these articles inside. I'm not going to keep them. So it's as simple as that. So you will have articles inside like this. Something like this. Now, we'll go to the third step. This is the third step that I said I don't make undergrads do. So we'll save this one. Let me just describe to you. So let's assume that you have 400 articles to have. I'm going to do for duplicates. You remove the duplicates from it. How many articles are you left? This is 380. Then you read the title and the abstract. Some will be irrelevant. You take the irrelevant articles out. You left with, let's say, 350. Then you read the full papers. When you read the full papers, you realize that some are irrelevant. Some 50 are irrelevant. So you take them out, you left with 300 papers. Then you go through the reference list of the articles. Let's say this article. You go through the reference list and you realize that there are some articles here which are relevant for you to add to your review. So you go and look for them and download them, and you come and add to your review. When you add them, it will increase from 900 to 330. And you go down. You ask yourself, are there any new articles that have come out? If they are, you go back we'll go and filter out doubles. If they are not, after going through the iterations to end. So this will be the total number of articles that we will have. That I said, I don't expect you to do this at a regular level. So let's go to step 4. Step 4 is analyze. Step 4, remember that under step 1, we said we are looking for the major themes. We're looking for the major themes in your research area. And then, based on the major themes, we are going to now identify limitations or future research directions. How can we identify these major themes? How do we identify? We can identify them by, first of all, keeping track of the purpose of the paper. Each of the papers that we are going to review. We want to know the purpose of each of the articles. So how do we know the purpose of every article? Every article normally writes the purpose of the paper. So let's look at this paper on the left. It's coming from Emerald. It's an Emerald paper. Normally the Emerald papers have it even in the abstracts. So this paper is about the determinants of the online purchase intention, economic motivation, prices, information, and trust. Look here in the abstract. The abstract is a summary of the paper. Look at this page, say purpose. The internet has changed the nature of purchasing, proof of this being the proliferation of e-commerce sites which have seen their activity grow more quickly due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, the authors aim to investigate the impact of consumers' hedonic motivation, access to information, and trust on online purchase intention. This is the purpose of this paper. We want to investigate the impact of consumers' hedonic motivation on online purchase intention. Okay. So when we identify the purpose of this, we are going to copy it. Just select it, use your mouse. Use your mouse to select it. And you copy it and you come and paste it over here in this section. This is the purpose. I cannot copy it over here. This one is part of the PDF. I can't copy with the device I'm using. Now, if it's this place, this is a different paper. So look at this place. The purpose is on the day. It says the paper contributes to the e-government teacher in terms of empirical examples from Australian and on how MDM materialized in the digital world. What is MDM? New public management. Okay. How new public management materialized in the digital world. Locally, we introduce and focus on PSP, a new and emerging technology platform that provides good services. Okay. So I can say that this is the purpose of this paper. When you read, whatever you are saying is the purpose of the paper. When we read it, we should know what the paper is about. That thing should tell us, that sentence or statement should tell us what the paper is about. So here, we are seeing clearly what this paper is about. So this is what it is for. Yeah, so I'll copy it and paste. So we are saying that this text I have pasted here represents the article, represents this article. It doesn't end there. We need the citation so that we can always remember that we copied this text from this paper. We have to cite it. When you are citing, you need the surname of the author or the surnames of the authors. It is more than one. And the year of publication. This article was published in 2016. You can see it on the paper. It's 2016 is here. The author's name, author's surname is runner-up, Henriksen, and Hedman. Mendeley helps you to cite the articles automatically. After installing it, you have to install the MS Word plugin. I've installed it, so it is, that's why it is uninstalled. You come to tools and you come to install MS Word plugin. Now I want to cite this paper. I know one of the author's surnames, so I'll just click where I want to cite. I go to references, then I come to insert citation. Now I type run. It's one of them. I choose OK. The citation will appear there for me. Let's say we want to cite. So you can close this paper and move on to the next article in your folder. So let's say this one. Competing in digital ecosystems. In this article, we highlight what is new and different about digital ecosystems for construct. We offer frameworks that explain how digital ecosystems provide, and I like this sentence, this one is more detailed. We offer frameworks that explain how digital ecosystems provide firms with new source of value and new avenues for growth. I'll copy this one. I paste and add the citation. The citation should, this one is Subramanian. I can just copy the name. So when I'm inserting, I don't have to remember. So insert citation, I'll paste the name. This is the article I'm looking for. You can see there are two different articles came out because these two have the same, they have authors with the same surname, but you know which one you are looking for. You are looking for this one, Competing in Digital Ecosystems. When you click on it, it choose OK, and that article is also cited. So for all the articles that you downloaded, you are going to put their research purpose in the citation, research purpose and citation. Fill this table. That is the first step. When we are done, we are going to do the open codes. We won't talk about open codes today. We'll talk about it next week. We'll do the open codes, we'll put them together, and then we'll do the next level, which is the easier codes. We'll put similar open codes together to get the easier code. We'll put similar easier codes together to get the selected code. This right here, the selected code that we get here, will give us the themes that we are looking for. The codes that we get over here on this side will give us, will help us to answer this question. What are the major themes in digital platform research? It will help us to answer this question. Then we will now do what we call problematization. Even also at this undergrad level, I don't go much into problematization, but we just look for some limitations. What are some limitations that we can identify from the recent research? Then we write some of the future research directions. From here, we are going to write the review out, like I showed you in a similar, the sample one I showed you. So that would be step 5. So this is the worksheet for step 5. This is where you write the actual literature review, where there's the introduction. You write about the independent variable, empirical review. So this is where your themes will come. The themes that you got from here will feature here. You're going to categorize the articles according to themes. Then this section includes the theories that you found in the articles that you reviewed. Again, at this level, I can spare you. All right. You can ignore that. This is where the gaps will come. The limitations from previous studies will come. Then we'll summarize and conclude. And then your reference list will show up here. Then we are done with the literature review. And now, Henry Jr.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Doc, please. I'm a bit lost on the how you inserted the the author's name. That's the citation. So when you install the plugin, the MS plugin, and hello, Doc, please, can you hear me?
I'm listening to you, sir.
Yeah, so Doc, when you after install or when you install the MS plugin in your Microsoft Office Word, and then when you go to the citation, so when you type
references, you go to references.
references, okay.
Before
Okay,
you
so
come and cite, you should have loaded articles into your Mendeley. You should have loaded your articles.
okay. Okay, so you first of all have to upload all your articles in there, and then you install the plugin, then you come and do the citation.
Yes, Daddy.
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
All right. So for your assignment, you are supposed to go and you are going through all the steps. Let me put the worksheet in the chat. The worksheet in the chat. I have to close them before I can upload. So we are doing step 1, step 2, and step 4.
Doc, please, can I ask a quick question, please?
It's a question you have just asked. Go ahead.
Okay, so Doc, with the the Mendeley app, I just want to know if it's a third-party application that we have to download or.
Obviously, it's a third-party application. Let me share the installer file with you here, bro. Right, this is.
Okay. Please, is it open source for, let's say, some users?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, Doc, some users Apple, some
I
users.
don't know. Hey, transfer of ESC file is restricted by account admin. Okay, sorry. It's not available. When you go to mendeley.com, you don't have the old version. So you will have to. What does it matter? Whether it's open source or proprietary, what does it matter?
Look, I just want to know, like some uses Mac, I know some uses Mac, some uses Windows. So I just wanted to find out if maybe it's
what does the open source going to do with Mac or Windows? So here it is.
No, no.
It is available for everything. Linux, Windows,
Okay.
iOS, Android. It's available for everybody.
Okay, Doc. No, I wanted to find out before I find myself in any trouble. So.
As I'm saying, the current version is Mendeley Reference Manager for desktop. Me, I don't like it. I don't like the new version. It's a way for me. So that's why I have carefully guarded and kept a copy of the old version. Fortunately, I can't share it with you. But I think if you search for
Okay, Doc, when I come to school tomorrow, I'll bring pen drive and come and copy from.
search for Mendeley old version, yes. Yes, so search for Mendeley old version. You'll see them. Okay, comments. And this is from the Mendeley website for so here they are. So I'm going to download from there. So there's a Mac OS there, there's a Windows version also available. So download. You don't need to bring pen drive. Download from this link. Right. Any questions on what we have done today? Today we have learned that we need to conduct literature review for the topics we have selected. And we said that literature review is the second step in the research cycle. And in doing literature review, we are looking at understanding what previous studies have done, to identify and to understand what the areas that they have studied, and to also identify the limitations in what they have done, so that based on the limitation, you can study or address those limitations in our work. And we said that literature review includes different publications, including written books, written works like journal articles, scholarly books, conference papers, magazines, newspapers, online web content. But for us, we are interested in journal articles mostly. Today we have only looked at journal articles. That's the most important. And we have learned how to, and we have seen that there are 5 steps in conducting literature review according to Wolfswinkel et al. So from the 5 steps, which is to define, to search, to select, analyze, and present. I showed you a worksheet that I have developed to help you to go through each of the steps. Today we have gone through the define, we have done the search. I said you can ignore the select. We have looked at the analyze. We have a homework to go and start working. We are going to do the define. You fill the define worksheet. You do the search. You record all your search, and you also do the analyze. You start with the analysis worksheet. Bring it to class next week, and we will continue the analysis from there. So if there are no questions, thank you very much.
Doc, please, before you go, Doc, with the assignment again, I'm sorry, my network was